Take a second and think. What if I told you there are two stories, two cards up the sleeve capable of completely changing the face of the Golden State Warriors? Moves so bold they could redefine the NBA in the coming years. No pointless speculation here. These are real scenarios, with immediate impact on the present and future of the franchise. But before we dive into the details that could set the league on fire, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Here, you get the hottest rumors and in-depth analysis you won't find anywhere else. And trust me, you won't catch every part of this story. News 1. What does it mean when the biggest star of the franchise decides to speak up and ask for a specific piece? And what if that piece is not just a player, but a symbol? Someone who was part of a legendary chapter in this story. That's exactly what's happening in San Francisco. And the rumor we're about to explore might not only change the Warriors' rotation, but also redefine the essence of a dynasty still fighting to stay alive. When we talk about the Warriors, we talk about a team that changed the NBA. A team that made history by reinventing how the game is played, turning three-point shots into art and speed into a lethal weapon. But no dynasty lasts forever without adapting. Back in 2022, the world saw a roster that looked unbeatable, balancing offensive brilliance with suffocating defense. And at the heart of that defense was him, Gary Payton II, the son of a legend, a heavy name that carried more than stats. He brought energy, effort, and that feeling that every possession mattered like life or death. That year, when the trophy came back to the Warriors, he was there, a piece that didn't shine in the box score, but stood out in the intangibles, intensity. Now, despite still playing 3 years later, the question echoing behind the scenes is simple but powerful. Is Gary Payton II coming back? Before we dive deeper into the story, here's a quick ask for those who truly bleed Warriors blue and gold. Smash that like button right now, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Because this is just the beginning. We'll follow every step of this saga, and you won't want to miss when the next bombshell drops. Here's the news. The rumor came from a source that deserves respect. Brandon Scoop B. Robinson. According to him, Stephen Curry, the face of the franchise, wants Gary Payton II back. It's not just anything when Curry asks. We're talking about the man who redefined the game, making it clear that he wants one specific player back. Gary Payton II is on the market as an unrestricted free agent. He's coming off a season with 62 games for the Warriors, showing consistency. 6.5 points per game, 3 rebounds, 1.3 assists, and nearly 1 steal per night. On top of that, he posts an impressive field goal percentage of 57.4%. And even though the three-point shot isn't a specialty, with 32.6% from deep, his impact goes far beyond shooting. It's defense, it's hustle, it's chemistry. But let's look behind the curtain, because nothing is that simple. Why haven't the Warriors made a move yet? The team's offseason is frozen for one reason: Jonathan Kaminga. The 22-year-old is both a valuable asset and a complicated problem. He turned down a 2-year $45 million offer because the second year was a team option, not a player option. That created friction, and it didn't stop there. Kaminga doesn't have a good relationship with Steve Kerr, the coach who orchestrated all their recent titles. That internal tension is holding the franchise back. There's no cap space, no teams with the room to absorb Kaminga in a big deal, and negotiations with the Suns and Kings have stalled. The front office didn't like the offers, and now the market is cold. Meanwhile, the Warriors need to make moves. That second-round exit against the Timberwolves left scars. They barely survived the Rockets, winning only in Game 7, and when they reached the next series, they lost Curry in Game 1. A thigh tendon injury took him out for the rest of the matchup, and without him, the team was crushed. That collapse exposed what was already clear. They lacked depth, defense, and experience beyond the core. That's exactly why the Gary Payton II rumor is gaining so much momentum. Now imagine the impact. Payton II is not a 20-point scorer, but he's a player who changes how the team defends. He knows Kerr's system, knows where to be, understands the mentality that built those titles. In a roster struggling for balance, bringing someone like him back could be the first step toward another push. And it doesn't stop there. Sources from the Dallas Hoops Journal indicate that once the Kaminga situation is resolved, the Warriors plan to hit the market hard. Alongside Payton II, names like Al Horford and D'Anthony Melton are on their radar. Horford would bring experience in the paint, something sorely missed against Minnesota. Melton, on the other hand, offers more defense and versatility. Put those three together, and you start reshaping a roster that looked worn out. But it all depends on what happens now. If Kaminga stays, how will he react after all this? How will he fit with Kerr, knowing there's no full trust between them? And if he leaves, what will the return be? The Warriors don't want to give up a young talent for too little. It's a dilemma that ties together the future, the present, and the legacy. Now take a breath and think with me. If Curry is asking for Gary Payton II, is this just about reinforcing defense? Or is it about keeping the spirit of that dynasty alive? Could bringing back a veteran who knows the championship path be the key to giving this team one last shot? I want to hear from you. Does this move make sense? Would Gary Payton II be just a detail or the missing piece for the Warriors to rediscover their identity? Drop your opinion in the comments. News 2. Imagine the scene. The lights of the Chase Center shine bright. The crowd packs the stands, and suddenly, an announcement echoes through the arena. Stephen Curry steps onto court alongside LeBron James. Yes, Curry and LeBron, two of the greatest names in NBA history, wearing the same jersey. Sounds like an impossible script, but this rumor is gaining momentum, and it all starts with a key piece already on the Warriors, Jimmy Butler. But how did we get here? Back in February, Golden State made a bold move to reignite their competitive fire. They added to the roster a former Miami Heat star, a 6 feet 7 inches player, a six-time All-Star. Someone used the big game's pressure and leadership. With him on the team, the Warriors once again reached the Western Conference semifinals for the second time in 3 seasons. An achievement that shows consistency, but also reveals something. This roster still isn't enough to bring the trophy back to San Francisco. And here's the central point of this story. Reporter Peter O'Keefe from Blue Man Hoop shared an analysis that shook up the offseason. If the Warriors want to make an old dream come true and bring in Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jimmy Butler will be the essential piece to start that trade. Why? Because Butler's contract would be the easiest way to match salaries before adding the package we all know would be necessary. Young prospects and draft picks. A risky move, but one that makes sense when you consider the impact Giannis brings to any team. But the plot doesn't stop there. There's another superstar, a living legend, whose name has constantly been linked to the Warriors, LeBron James. Yes, the 4-time NBA champion, 4-time MVP, a man whose career spanned generations and is also a target still playing at a high level in Golden State. And the logic is clear. If the Warriors want to dream of this historic union once again, Butler is the key to making the financial side work for LeBron's astronomical $52.6 million salary. After that, negotiations would revolve around picks and young players. Now, think about the weight of this. We're talking about LeBron James, a player who has already left his mark on 3 different franchises and who, even at 40 years old, remains an unstoppable force. The question many are asking is, does he still have enough in the tank to chase another title? The answer seems to be in the numbers. In February, the same month Luka Doncic arrived in Los Angeles, LeBron proved why he's still one of a kind. He averaged 29.3 points, 10.5 rebounds, and 6.9 assists per game, shooting 55.5% from the field and 44.3% from 3. And that's not all. The Lakers finished the month with an incredible 10-2 record. Over the entire season, he left no doubts. 24.4 points per game, 8.2 assists, and 7.8 rebounds, shooting over 51% from the floor. Even so, it wasn't enough to push the Lakers past the first round of the playoffs. And here's where the dilemma begins. Will LeBron settle for closing out his career without another title run? Or will he look for the perfect situation to make one last push for glory? Just imagine, for a moment, LeBron alongside Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson, a team coached by Steve Kerr, running a system that emphasizes intelligence, court vision, and lethal shooting. For the NBA, this wouldn't just be a bold move. It would be a complete shift in the balance of power. A move that would put the Warriors back at the center of the basketball universe. But this won't come without sacrifices. To make room for LeBron, or even Giannis, Jimmy Butler has to go. And here's the big question. Is it worth trading a player who just arrived, who brought experience, toughness, and leadership, to take a gamble on a superstar who might only stick around for a season or two? Butler isn't just any piece. He brings a history of effort, leadership, and clutch performances. However, for those aiming to make history, risks are part of the game. Now, let's look at the potential impact. If LeBron comes, even without guaranteeing a championship, the entire NBA will stop to watch. Every game would be an event. Every possession a masterclass in basketball. For fans, it would be an unmatched spectacle. Seeing Curry and LeBron on the same team is something many have dreamed of, but few ever believed could happen. And if Giannis also enters the equation at some point, that would be the biggest revolution since the creation of Kevin Durant's super team. On the other hand, if this trade doesn't happen, the Warriors will continue with Butler, trying to build around him and Curry. It's a safer route, but will it be enough to beat teams like the Timberwolves, Nuggets, or even a reloaded Lakers squad? That's the lingering question behind the scenes in Golden State. So now I ask you, would you make that trade? Would you give up Butler to bring in LeBron James, knowing the impact would be immediate but maybe short-lived? Or would you stick with Butler as the key piece to keep the team competitive for the next few years? I want to hear your opinion in the comments, because in the next video, we're going to dive into another rumor that could completely change this franchise's direction. What's the real chance of Giannis wearing blue and gold? So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and drop a like right now, because this saga is just getting started, and every chapter promises to be more explosive than the last.